Hi everyone, welcome back to Reddit Heddit, the channel where we dive into the most heartfelt and captivating confessions from Reddit. Grab a snack, get comfortable, and let's get into it. It was a sweltering summer afternoon when temptation first crept into my mind. The air conditioner hummed lazily in the background, and the dull buzz of cicadas outside seemed to amplify the tension in the room. My parents had just finished discussing bills, their worried voices carrying faintly through the closed door of their bedroom. I was 16, naive and reckless, with a newfound taste for independence that clashed with my reality. My mother had always been tight in our household, and I saw the strain it caused my parents. They worked long hours, sacrificing their own comforts to provide for my need and those of my younger siblings. But that day, as I sat at the kitchen table pretending to do homework, a different thought occupied my mind. I knew where my mother kept an emergency cash stash, a small envelope tucked away in the back of a dresser drawer, hidden beneath old scarves and forgotten trinkets. She had shown it to me once, casually mentioning its existence in case of emergencies. I didn't think much of it at first. It was just a passing thought. An idle curiosity fueled my teenage rebellion and a desire for things I couldn't afford on my meager allowance. But as the days passed and my longing for a taste of freedom grew, so did the idea of taking just a little. The opportunity presented itself one evening when my parents were out for groceries, leaving me home along with my siblings. I knew they wouldn't be back for at least an hour of freedom to explore the forbidden corners of their bedroom. Heart pounding, I slipped into their room, the floorboards creaking beneath my feet like accusatory whispers. My hands trembled as I rifled through the dresses, fingers brushing against the soft fabric of scarves and the cool surface of forgotten jewelry box. And then I found it, an envelope. It was smaller than I remembered, worn at the edges from years of careful concealment. I hesitated for a moment, guilt and fear warring within me, but the lure of what lay inside was too strong to resist. I peeled open the envelope, careful not to tear it, and my breath caught in my throat as I counted the bills inside. It wasn't much, just enough to buy a few things I had been eyeing for weeks. A new phone case, some trendy clothes that would make me feel like I belonged among my peers. I took the money, stuffing it into my pocket with shaking hands, and hurriedly returned to my room before anyone could catch me. Guilt gnawed at my insides as I tried to bury the shame of what I had done. I spent the money quickly, impulsively, as if the art of spending could erase the stain of my theft. But guilt is a persistent companion. It followed me everywhere, in the quiet moments before sleep, during family dinners where laughter felt hollow on my tongue, and in the way my parents worked even harder to make ends meet, unaware of the betrayal that lay hidden in their own home. Weeks passed, then months. I avoided their ears and eyes, flinching at every moment, a mention of money or financial stress. I wanted to confess, to unload the weight of my secret and beg for forgiveness, but fear held me back. Fear of disappointing them, of losing their trust forever. And then one evening, my mother found the empty envelope hidden beneath a pile of old magazines in a dresser. I watched from the doorway, stomach churning with dread, as she stared at it in confusion before realization dawned on her face. She called me into the room, her voice trembling with a mix of hurt and anger that pierced straight through me. There was no denying it. No more hiding behind excuses or false innocence. I confessed everything through tears, the words tumbling out in a rush of shame and regret. Their disappointment was palpable, a heavy silence that settled between us like a storm cloud. They demanded to know why, how I could betray their trust in such a callous manner. I had no answers, only apologies that felt inadequate against the magnitude of my betrayal. They didn't yell or scream. Instead, they talked about trust, about consequences, about the value of honesty and the pain of broken trust. They made me understand the gravity of what I had done, the ripple effect of my actions beyond the simple act of taking money. We spent hours that night talking and crying and trying to mend what had broken. They forgave me eventually, but the scars of my betrayal lingered, a reminder of the price of my selfishness and the lessons learned too late. From that day forward, I vowed never to take what wasn't mine again. I worked hard to earn back their trust, taking on extra chores, finding a part-time job to contribute financially, and proving through actions rather than words that I had learned from my mistakes. It was a long and painful journey to redemption, one marked by moments of doubt and self-loathing. But through it all, I carried with me the lessons learned, the value of integrity, the weight of trust, and the enduring power of forgiveness. Thank you for listening to my confessions. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more heartfelt stories from Reddit Heddit. Bye.